So we have seen morning that unformatted input function, unformatted input and output is there. Unformatted input function. You can have the get character, get ch, get che and all is mainly for getting the character and using it in the ASCII value. But if you want to use it as a character, you can use get character function to read single character. And get character is a function which will be returning the character, right? So you have to return the character to a character variable. And I was telling, if you want to read more than one character, get character can read only one character at a time. But if you are repeating get character using a while loop statement, and you can given the condition until the character accepted is not a new line, to repeat the while loop statement, then you can use it for accepting more than one character. So you can be successfully, get character can be used in order to read a string of characters, right? So there is another function for reading a string that that I will tell you, getters. But now using get character, how you can read more than one character using, or you can have it within a while loop statement. So if you are, you can make sure that there always, we have studied that in while loop, there should be an exit condition, right? Exit condition should be given in the while bracket. So you have to give the condition properly, otherwise it will be ending in an infinite loop. Okay. To read more than one character. Now, so the get character function return any character keyed in except the new line character. So we'll write the while function in such a way that except for the new line character, it will be returning the character. So in the variable called character, I have given the name of the variable as character. So character is the name of the variable which is declared of the data type called character, right? CHAR. So instead of integer, here it is character data type. The variable name itself is character. Okay. So now we will move on to the unformatted output. Till now we were seeing the get ch and all, get character and all is used for the unformatted input. Now for unformatted output we can use putchar, right? So the function putchar is for writing characters one at a time to the terminal. So as I was telling, the functions, will be taking an argument and returning, there will be a return value. Some functions will not be having an argument and will not be returning anything. Get character is a function which will be returning a character variable, but it will not be taking any arguments. But put character will be taking an argument. Got it? So put character argument where we'll be mentioning within the parenthesis, right? So within the parenthesis we are giving the variable name. But here in get character, what we were doing, we were giving a variable name equal to get character. Here we didn't give any arguments because get character is a function which will be returning, and this return value has to be assigned to a variable of character data type. Got it? So here between get character and put character, the difference is in put character we will be giving the argument as variable name. In get character we will be accepting the return value in a variable name, right? So one is for printing. So put character is for writing the characters. Get character is for getting the characters or getting an input, right? So here variable name is of data type character containing a character, and display the character contained in the variable name at the terminal or the display. So it's very simple, unformatted output. So just one example. So you are declaring the variable ch as a character variable and you are assigning the value y, put character ch. So you will be displaying the value of ch, right? It displays the character y on the screen. the statement input new line character would cause the cursor on the screen to move to the NL. So whatever we give over here, so if it is a character, it will be displaying. If it is a new line, it will be moving the cursor. This is a non-printable character, right? So if you are giving a new line, it will be bringing the cursor to the next line, right? So if you want to make a coding like in case you are accepting new line, then you have to print something that you can use the while loop statement or some other if condition or something, no, to make the coding likewise. So whatever we give as an input from the keyboard will be taken up by the put character. Okay, so whether it is printable or not printable. Now we are moving on to the formatted input. Formatted input. So how, so this topics, no, whatever we are seeing, it's more, so I can see sometimes 43, now it is 41. Okay, formatted input. Till now we were seeing unformatted input output, right? Unformatted input output. Nagaraju and it's just now joined. Okay, so unformatted input output we studied already. That is get character or some one example means get car and put car, you can tell. Now we are going to tell about the formatted input output. We had given the definition in the first slide. So when we are moving on to the formatted input output, we have to remember the definition that formatted input output can be used for getting any data type, right? Any data type, and we should specify the format specifier, right? We have to mention the format specifier, right? And we have to, there are only two formatted input output function. One is scanf and the other one is printf. Formatted input refers to the input data that has been arranged in a particular format. There should be some format. There should be a particular format, and that's why we are telling it as a format. Otherwise, inputting and outputting we can do even using unformatted get car and put car. So it is, if you want to have it in a particular format, you know, your output should be clearly, I had given you advice in the first class itself, output carries, formatted output carries marks, right? 5 marks in the final exam. So that means a formatted output, it is relevant even in the, even when we are doing the other programs, right? Formatted output. It's not like without any proper formatting. You can't just print everything in a single line, right? So scanf function is used for the formatted input of data. The input must be separated by spaces, tabs, or new line. Have you ever seen when we are using the scanf, if you are accepting two numbers, how you will be entering? Either you can give a space. Suppose I am asking the user printf enter the value for A and B. Together in a line you can give, right? If you are mentioning enter the value of A and B, what you will do? You will either enter A and B giving a space. That is, for A, I'll be entering 2. And then for B, I'll be entering 5 after leaving a space after 2. Right? Otherwise, I can give a tab. So that space will be more. Or I can enter A value in the first line and B value in the new line. Right? So input using the scanf, whatever input we are giving, it should be separated by spaces, tabs, or new line. Scanf read value until the specified number or until a character that is not valid for the value is entered. So scanf will be keeping on reading the reading until a specified number or until a character that is not valued for the value is entered. So you might have encountered last time when we were doing the examples, you will be entering, instead of name, you might have entered register number. So as soon as you enter the register number, it will be terminating the program. Then you will be sending me screenshot, ma'am, I'm not able to run the program. Because this is all because of our scanf. When we are giving scanf, it reads until a specified number or until the character is valid. If it is not valid for the format specified, it will stop the execution of the program. So we will see how it is done. So the format or the syntax of scanf is as follows. In scanf, what all we have to give, scanf, as I had already told, it is a function we should be passing arguments in the parenthesis, right? So first we will mention the format specifier followed by the arguments, right? So the format specifier is nothing but the conversion symbol. So sometimes if you are getting a question, what is the format specifier? Why we are using format specifier? To specify or to give a correct syntax or a protocol for the data type, value of the data type to be displayed, value of the variable to be displayed. So this is a combination. The format specifier is a combination of two things. What are the two things? Conversion symbol, this percentage symbol, right? This percentage symbol, when now onwards when you are reading, you can just tell it as a conversion symbol. Got it? In this context, you will be telling, ma'am, you told this is mode, ma'am, you told this is percentage. Here, when we are using in the scanf, I will be reading it as percentage, but this is what it is, a conversion symbol, right? Don't read mode and all. Percentage is fine, but actually it is not a percentage of a number, right? It is not a mode of a number. Actually, when we are using percentage over here, it is a conversion symbol, right? So it is a conversion symbol followed by the data type or the format of the data to be entered. So here D indicates what we are entering, an integer. Got it? So if you want to have two arguments or two values to be displayed, the two values of the variables to be displayed, you have to mention two format specifiers. Okay, so this format specifiers indicate in which format it has to be displayed, followed by argument 1 and argument 2, right? So the first argument what we are giving is a control string or the format. In some question paper, they may be asking, telling it as what is a control string. Control string is another name for the format specifier. Note down, because in some faculties, those who are setting the question paper, they may use different terms, because in different textbooks, others they may use different name. Got it? So control string, controlling the format of the string. So it is also known as control string. Another name of format specifier is control string. Got it? It specifies the field format in which the data is to be entered. Got it? So in scanf, when we are using format specifier, it specifies the format in which the field format in which the data has to be entered. The field specification. So that's field specification is another term that also you can note down. So these terms, if they change and use, also you should be knowing. So the control string or the field specifier, format specifier, field specification, all these indicates that the meaning you can just understand now what will be controlling the format of the data which is being given, entered using the scanf function. So the usual format specifier what we were using was only percentage %d, right? So here you can see that actually there is an optional thing to be mentioned when we are giving the format specifier, that is percentage %wd, where W is the width. Got it? So W is nothing but the field width. W is the field width. That sometimes it is optional. If you want to mention the field width, that you can specify. So I'll just show how. So using this the field specification or the format specifier, how neatly we can give them get the input and also to print the output. So the conversion, so I have given explanation for each of the things. Here percentage symbol, no? This you have to read it as the conversion character. You can read as the conversion character. Second is the optional number, that is it indicates the field width. That's why we are indicating it as W. It indicates the field width. And the third one is a data type specifier. It can be either D for integer, F for float, C for character, and S for string are some of the examples. And this will be constituting the first argument, and then the second argument. Second argument will be the values, or the argument will be the address of the location where the data has to be stored. When we are using in scanf, we have to precede the variable value with an ampersand symbol. The field specification for reading an integer number, as you can see, it is a percentage %d. After is I didn't write, integer number is or you can just give it as D. Okay. So we will see how it is used and how this field width matters. So if I am just giving scanf percentage 2D, what is 2 over here? 2 indicates the field width. Okay. And second number, I'm going to accept using scanf is percentage 5D. That means I'm having a field width of 5, field width of 5 in order to accept the two numbers. So first number is having a field width of 2. Second number, which is at the address location number 2, num2, is having a field width of 5. So when we run this program, we will be giving the input through the keyboard. So what will happen? There are two address location, num1 and num2. You know, it's in memory and we have the address because we gave ampersand, we have the address, right? So what will happen if I am just giving ampersand num1 and ampersand num2? There are two locations in memory named as number 1 and number 2. We are accessing the address using the ampersand operator. Now what we are doing, we are giving an input 50. As I told, either you can leave a space between the two numbers here. I want number 1 to be accepting 50 and it has to be assigned or it has to be stored in the address location of num1, and the second number is 31,426 and it has to be saved in the address location where it is labeled as num2. Got it? So this is my intention. So I am entering two numbers. Now what will happen? Now what will happen here when I am entering, when I am entering, what will happen is, as we have indicated here, in the address location of num1, we will be assigning, or it will be filled with the 50, and in the second address location as the field width, you see the field width also, here it is 2, the field width is 2, so there is only 2 digits, we will be filling it over there, and for the second number num2, field width is 5, so as I had entered 5, it will be directly saved in the location num2. Now in the second case, you know, we are using the same scanf, but we are entering the number, the first number as 31,426. Now what will happen? Because I gave the field width as 2 for the first number, but I am giving the number as 31,426. So now what will happen? It will take only the first 2 digit. Understood? Field width we mentioned as 31. Even though we indicated as an integer, as the field width is indicated as 2, it will be taking only the first 2 digits. Got it? Now what happened? The remaining number, as I told here, scanf, no, when you are rendering also you should be careful. Depending upon the format what we specified, it will be accepting the number. Very formal way of taking, right? So if you indicate the field width as 2, it will not just ignore the remaining digits. It will be taken as the input for the next format which is specified. Got it? So it will not be waiting for the 50, whatever you entered as for the first number, it will be taking as the first, it will be saving in the address location. The remaining, no, it will be automatically saved in the second address location. Sometimes, no, you might have experienced this one. You will be entering, that happened when we were entering the, under the name, student name. So you were entering with the initial. Then what happened? It will not be giving you the correct answer. So the second name was taken for the next field, for the course name or something, right? So it will be automatically taken up by the next position and it will give unexpected result. Got it? So now in this, no, we indicated field width as 2 means remaining digits will be taken for the next number. Now scanf percentage D without or conversion symbol, whatever this one is a conversion symbol, so I will read it as conversion symbol followed by D. So if I am giving without any width, I am not indicating the field width. So what will happen? As usual, no, whatever number we are entering, it will be accepted and it will be saved in the address location. In case you are indicating the field width, then likewise it will be taking the number of digits. Now, yes, if you have any errors, you can doubts, you can ask me. Arun K. So, formatted input of integers. So in formatted input of integers, now we are just seeing one example we already saw. In case you want to skip one of the input, but we are, this is, I don't know where it can be applied, but one example they had given. Suppose you want to skip a few numbers which is entered, then what we have to do is, so whenever we are running the program using scanf, if you are having a program using scanf and you are mentioning that scanf conversion symbol D and conversion second, so you mean that you want to accept three integers using three conversion specifiers, right? We are indicating that, but you are giving only two address locations. Listen here, there is only two address location. The second conversion symbol in place of width, field width, I am indicating what? I am indicating an asterisk sign. This means one asterisk sign. So that means what? Even if if you want to cheat something, like while entering, if you don't want to enter, accept the second number which is being entered. So when you are running the program, if you want to accept two numbers, you will leave one space and give the second number. Here we are accepting both the values for A and B in a single line. So either you can give a space or you can enter it the second line. So now here, even though we have two variables, we are passing only address of two locations, we are specifying three format specifiers. So that means like you don't want the second number to be taken up in the address location ampersand B. So what we will do is, you will specify for skipping what is the character used, asterisk is the sign used. I don't find any application for that, but still as I gave in the example, I am giving it over here in the PPT. Okay, so this asterisk symbol can be used in order to skip a number. So we entered the first number as 123, second number as 456, and third number as 789. So what will happen now? So this will not be stored in any address location. I just indicated that without any skipped means it is not saved. So this will be saved in address of A, and this will be saved in the address of B. So the data character D may be replaced. Suppose if you want to enter long integer, you have to replace it as LD. Instead of D, we will be giving it as LD. Now, in case if you are using the real numbers or the float, if you are using the field width need not be specified for scanf. Are you listening? In printf, we will be giving for real numbers, but in scanf, we will not give any field width for the real numbers, for accepting real numbers. Scanf uses simple specification like percentage F for both the decimal point and exponential. We are not separately accepting. Suppose it is 2.4. You will not tell, you should not, we are not specifying anything like 2 should be the decimal part and 4 should be the, 2 should be the integer part and 4 will be the fractional part, right? We are just giving percentage F, and you can enter 2.4 directly. For double, we will be using percentage LF. A number may be skipped. Similarly, what we have seen in the for the integers, if you want to skip some numbers in between, you can use percentage $F. But it is so formatted input in inputting or using, when we are using scanf for accepting real numbers, we are not specifying the field width. Understood? Field width need not be specified. Now, formatted input of characters. If you are accepting characters, again, in the scanf, you can use with the field width. That is percentage. Reading single character, anyway, you can read only single character. It will be taken as default as 1 percentage WC. For accepting more than one character, that is using the string format specifier S. If you want to give the field width, you can mention it as percentage WS. That means W indicates the field width. Okay, so the string, when we are using scanf along with scanf, if you give a blank space, then it will be terminating. It will not be accepting as a in scanf. If you use percentages, it will be accepting up to the blank space. If you are giving a space, then it will not be taken as an input for that percentage s. You know, when we were enter your name, we were giving it especially as first name. If you give space, what will happen? Scanf will be, it will not accept the second name. If you just enter a blank space after the first name, it will not accept. Now, formatted input of character string, there are certain ways for accepting the characters when we are using percentages, that is for accepting more than one character. So this is useful for you people because as I had told, when we are using scanf, Abrar, you're joining now. So when we are using a scanf, one difficulty or disadvantage I had mentioned that day, if you are giving a space when we are accepting a string, then it may not accept. So it is better to use getters and all, I had told you. But there is a way for using scanf and still accept the accept space. So we can see there are certain specifications which you can specify along with the format specifiers. So you can note down to read a string without blank space. So as I told, as usual, no, if you just give percentages, what will happen? If you continuously enter all characters without space, it will be accepting as a string. For that, we can just use percentages. But for us, what is the thing? We need it to accept blank. Suppose I want to enter Benita Jason. I want to give a space after Benita, means I cannot use scanf along with the percentages, right? So with the blanks, without blank space, if you want to enter, then you can use percentages. To read string with the blank space, to read a string with the blank space, what you have to do now? With the blank space, listen here, this we will be applying also. So with the blank space, if you want to give, you just give percentage and then a square bracket. Got it? Now, to read all characters including blank space, except the new line character. This, if you give, what will happen is it will be continuously accepting all the blank space, all the characters like that. And even the new line also, it will be accepting. So if you want to stop accepting the, suppose after entering Benita Jason, I want to move or to make it accept the new variable value. I will not be able to, because everything will be accepted if we are giving percentage. So here, what we have to do is, except for the new line character, all the characters if you want to accept, then you can give this character circumflex. You know, this character name is circumflex. Circumflex followed by new line. That means except new line, it will accept all characters except new line. So instead of S, here you see conversion specifier followed by S. If you give, it will not accept blank space. In this, if you give percentages followed by the square bracket, if you give, it will be reading all even blank space. If you want to give or accept all, including blank space, everything, characters, everything, except new line, then only we can terminate, you know, something like if I want to enter Benita Jason and then I want to move on to the next value to be accepted, at least new line it should not be accepting. I'll be giving an enter, right? Enter means what? It will be moving on to the new line. So I want to, if I want to make it like that, I can give percentage in square bracket mention circumflex and new line. To read only characters. So this square bracket has a magic. So inside that, if you give from A to Z, A hyphen Z means it will accept only characters. It will not accept any of the special characters. Got it? So only alphabets from A to Z. This is only the small letters or lowercase A to Z. Then you have to mention it as percentage in square bracket A to Z. Not to read characters. If you don't want characters, only like numbers if you want to accept, or numbers and special characters if you want to accept, you can use the circumflex before A to Z. So if you want to make the user to enter only phone numbers, Or so you can use this, this type of regular expressions. These are actually termed as regular expressions, which can be used along with the conversion specifiers. So within the square bracket, if you mention the circumflex, it is meaning as not except A to Z. If you want to read the characters, you can give it using a circumflex. If you want to accept only alphabets, you can, from A to Z, you can give it in square bracket. If you don't want to accept characters, you can mention with a circumflex. If you don't want new line to, and all other characters in the keyboard except new line to be accepted, then you can mention percentage in square bracket, circumflex, new line. Got it? So these are some of the formatting techniques which you can use for the characters. Got it? So this is actually known as regular expressions. This in almost all programming languages we have, which we mentioned within the square bracket. So without any regular expression, if you are giving, you can just mention it as percentages. So it will not be accepting blank spaces. As soon as it encounters a blank space, it will be moving on to the next scanf. Okay. So I have given some examples over here. So in case you have some fields like in order to accept only alphabets, you don't, if you are not accepting or you are not thinking of entering any numbers for some fields. Suppose for asking the user to enter a name, you will never accept any number to be digits to be entered, right? So you are giving it as percentage in square bracket A to Z, and then followed by the address of the location where the name has to be saved, right? Now, if you want to accept a course without any space, we just give BCA without B space C space A. So if you are just entering BCA, you need not bother about space. So we are just giving percentages as usual. Suppose if you want to give address in a para type, even even new line also, if you want to accept except for the new line, so here address has to be entered in a single line. Understood? Address may have special characters also. Sometimes for number you may enter hash symbol. All this thing except the new line. If you want to accept in address, you may enter number, you may enter alphabets, you may enter special characters. So you want to accept everything except the new line. You may put comma also, right? So if you are entering a new line or an enter key, until that, so except new line, it will, if you want to enter and save in the address location, you can use circumflex before new line. So four numbers, I'm giving only the uppercase and all, but still. Four numbers also, if you want to accept everything except alphabets, you can give it as circumflex A to Z. So you'll not be entering alphabets. You are accepting only numbers and special characters. Some hyphen if you are putting plus sign, if you are putting plus 91 and all, if you are putting that also will be accepted. I'm just giving one example. Okay. So for comment, you will be, you want to make it as a long para. So we are accepting everything means, I just gave an example. You are accepting everything for comment means you can give percentage square bracket. So this is the use of formatted input scanf using scanf. So the points to remember using scanf. For arguments after the format specifier must be an address, after the first argument, that this will be the first argument and this will be the second, but still they are naming this as a conversion symbol or the format specifier and this as the first argument and all. It's okay. But whenever we are giving the arguments for accepting the variable value, you have to mention the address. Address, how you will indicate? Using the ampersand symbol. Format specifications contained in the control string should match the argument order. Got it? So here, as I told, suppose if I am giving in scanf,